Ethan Hale walked across the warm desert sand with careful steps. His boots sank a little with each move, and a soft wind brushed across his face. Apache 3 looked calm from the sky when he first arrived, but walking through it was different. The air carried a strange energy, as if the land remembered every old story told by its people. He had come here on a peaceful mission to study ancient ruins and collect information for the Human Exploration Council. Everything about this planet reminded him of Earth's old tribes, especially the Apache people he had studied in history books. Their symbols, patterns, and style were seen almost everywhere on this world, but with alien features mixed into the design. Ethan touched the small device on his wrist. It flashed blue, showing he was close to the coordinates he had been searching for. A canyon was nearby, hidden behind curved rocks shaped by thousands of years of wind. His map showed that some kind of energy source was inside that canyon, something old and not yet understood by humans. He took a deep breath and stepped between the stones. The temperature changed as soon as he entered the canyon. It felt cooler, calmer, and strangely peaceful. The light dimmed above him as tall cliffs blocked the sun. The sound of the wind faded a little, replaced by the soft song of running water. According to his research, this side of the desert was almost completely dry. If there was water, it had to be important. He followed the sound, moving deeper into the canyon until he reached a turn. Around that corner, the air glowed faintly blue. Ethan frowned and stepped forward slowly. When he emerged from the narrow path, he found himself standing before a small spring shining with soft light. The water was clearer than anything he had ever seen. Strange symbols were carved on the stones around it, glowing gently as if alive. For a moment, Ethan stared in awe, forgetting everything else. This was more than just a spring. It was something sacred, something connected to the energy that powered old alien technology on this planet. But something else caught his eye. He saw someone there. A girl. Her back was to him, and she stood in the water, her head tilted upward, as if she was praying. Her long dark hair fell over her shoulders like a curtain, and the blue light reflected around her. Ethan froze, shocked and confused. He had no idea someone was here. He had thought the canyon was empty. Before he could move, a small rock slipped under his boot and made a soft sound. The girl gasped sharply and turned around. Her eyes widened with fear when she saw him. She quickly covered herself with her arms, stepping back as the glowing water rippled around her. Ethan raised both hands in panic. "I'm sorry. I didn't know anyone was here." "I didn't mean to disturb," the girl interrupted with a trembling voice. You saw me? You saw me during the sacred cleansing?" No. This cannot happen." Ethan blinked. Her voice was soft but full of fear. He could see her shaking. He immediately turned around, facing the rocks, speaking with his eyes shut. "I swear I didn't mean it. I'll leave right now. Please don't be scared." But the girl stepped out of the water before he could move away. "No! You cannot leave like this," she said, her voice tight with panic. Ethan heard her rush to grab something, probably a cloth or traditional clothing. Her breathing came fast, like someone facing real danger. He slowly opened his eyes when she said it was safe to turn around. The girl was now wrapped in a dark, patterned cloth, decorated with glowing blue threads. Her skin was warm-colored, and her sharp eyes showed strength despite her fear. She looked young, but trained, like someone who lived in a warrior society. Ethan spoke softly. "I didn't come here to cause trouble. I'm a researcher. I didn't know this place was sacred." The girl stared at him with a mixture of shock and worry. "My name is Nayeli," she said quietly. Ethan nodded. "I'm Ethan Hale." Nayeli's hands shook as she held the cloth tighter around herself. "Ethan, you don't understand what you have done. This spring is sacred. Only chosen warriors enter it." And anyone who sees a warrior during the cleansing must face judgment. Her voice tightened even more. Actually, Enja. And actually, you have seen me. If my tribe finds out, they will punish both of us. Ethan felt a cold wave of worry in his chest. Punish? For an accident? Nayeli looked down for a moment, her expression heavy with fear. For my people, this is not a small thing. They believe the ceremony connects the warrior to our ancestors. If anyone sees it, they say it breaks the honor of the ritual, and I will be blamed as well. 3. I have the 9 whirling that. They filtered for my main. Ethan understood now why she had reacted with such panic. He tried to stay calm. Tell me what I can do. I want to fix this. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, or to me. Nayeli looked directly at him, her eyes deep and serious. There is only one way to fix this, she said quietly. If you stand with me as my chosen partner, if you promise that you saw nothing with harmful intent, if you stay by my side in front of the tribe, then they cannot punish us. Ethan froze. Partner? You mean, like a bond? Nayeli nodded. It is not marriage the way humans see it. It is a promise of unity. You protect my honor, and I protect your life. It is the only way. Ethan's heart pounded. He had only come here to study ruins, not step into tribal traditions. But when he looked at Nayeli, he saw that she was truly scared, not because of him, but because her tribe's laws were strict. Nayeli stepped closer. Please, if you leave now, the warriors will track your footprints. They will find you, and they will ask why you came here. Then, everything will be worse. Ethan sighed slowly. All right. I'll help you. Tell me what to do. Nayeli's fear softened a little. Her shoulders lowered. You must come with me to my village. We will speak to the elder. I will tell them you did not break the sacred rules with bad intentions. Ethan nodded. Before they left, Nayeli picked up a small, glowing stone from the edge of the spring and whispered a short prayer. Then she held the stone against the wall, and the symbols around the spring dimmed. The blue glow faded slowly, as if the spring went back to sleep until the next ritual. When they started walking out of the canyon, Nayeli stayed close to him, her steps quick and her eyes alert. She checked every corner, listening carefully to sounds that Ethan could barely hear. After some time, Ethan asked, Are you always this watchful? Nayeli nodded. Our hunters move like shadows. If they see you here alone with me, they will draw wrong conclusions. He didn't like the sound of that, so he followed her silently. As they reached the mouth of the canyon, Nayeli suddenly grabbed Ethan's hand and pulled him behind a large rock. Ethan's heart jumped. What's wrong? Nayeli pointed at the high ground. Ethan followed her direction and saw 2 warriors standing there. Their shapes strong and tall, decorated with feathers and glowing armor. They scanned the area with sharp eyes. They are tracking someone, Nayeli whispered. If they find us here, it will be bad. Ethan stayed quiet. Nayeli squeezed his wrist, and her voice dropped even lower. Stay close to me. Do not let go. If they ask, you are under my protection. With that, they slipped through the rocks when the warriors turned away. Nayeli moved with practiced grace, and Ethan followed her steps as quietly as he could. Even though danger surrounded them, he felt something strange trust forming between them. After almost an hour of careful walking, Nayeli finally relaxed a little. We are far enough, she said softly. My village is ahead. I weigh. Ethan looked around. The land shifted from dry stone to soft earth. In the distance, he saw structures made of wood-like material, mixed with glowing lines, houses built in harmony with nature. Smoke rose gently from central fire pits, and people moved about with calm purpose. As they approached the entrance, the guards quickly noticed Ethan. Their eyes narrowed. Their hands moved toward their weapons. Nayeli stepped forward, her voice strong. "He is with me. He harmed no one." But the guards glared at Ethan. "A human outsider walks our land? And with you, Nayeli? Explain yourself." Nayeli raised her chin. "We will speak to the elder. This matter concerns honor." The guards exchanged confused looks, but stepped aside. Ethan whispered, "Are you sure this will work?" Nayeli whispered back, "If I stand with courage, they will listen. But you must say nothing unless the elder asks you." They walked into the village together, and many eyes followed them. Ethan saw curiosity, suspicion, and even anger in some faces. Nayeli kept walking, her steps steady. She led Ethan to a large open hall where an older man sat near a circle of glowing stones. His eyes were sharp but calm, filled with deep wisdom. Nayeli bowed. "Elder Tseku, I bring a matter of honor." The elder looked at Ethan, then back to Nayeli. "Speak, child. Why does a human stand beside you?" Nayeli took a deep breath. "Because he must. Because he saw me at the sacred spring." The hall went silent. Ethan felt every eye turn toward them. Nayeli continued, her voice strong despite her fear. "He did not come with disrespect. He did not know. I choose him to stand with me. I choose him to protect my honor, and I protect his life in return." The elder looked at Ethan. "Human? Is this true?" "Forsy. RC. Browthen. RC. 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 Ethan nodded. "I didn't mean to intrude. I want to respect your ways. I want to make things right." The elder studied him for a long moment. Then, he exhaled, slowly. "This is a serious bond," he said. "It is not broken easily. If you stand with her, you stand with our people. And if you break this trust, you face our judgment." Ethan swallowed nervously. "I understand." Nayeli stepped closer to him, as if ready to shield him if needed. The elder looked between them and finally nodded. "Very well. For now, the bond stands. We will speak more tomorrow. For tonight, Nayeli will guide you, and you will remain under her protection." Relief filled Ethan's chest, and Nayeli's shoulders relaxed slightly. But the tension around the hall remained strong, and many eyes still watched them. As they stepped outside, Ethan let out a long breath. "That was intense." Nayeli gave him a small, tired smile. "It is not over yet, but you protected my honor with your words. Thank you. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Ethan shook his head. "You were the brave one. I just followed." Nayeli looked at him, her expression softening. "Whatever happens next, we face it together now." And for the first time since arriving on this strange world, Ethan felt he was no longer just an explorer. He was part of something bigger, something that connected two very different lives through a moment neither of them had expected. Ethan followed Nayeli through the village as the sun dipped lower in the sky. Warm orange light touched the tops of the wooden structures and made the glowing lines on the walls shine softly. People still watched him with mixed expressions. Some looked angry, some confused, and others curious. But no one dared to speak against Nayeli while she walked confidently beside him. They reached a small round house made of wood and stone. It had simple designs painted on the outside, symbols representing strength and family. Nayeli stopped at the entrance and took a slow breath before speaking. "This is my home. You will stay here tonight, because the elder said, you must remain under my protection." Ethan nodded respectfully. "Thank you. I know this isn't easy for you." Nayeli opened the door and stepped inside, letting him follow. The inside was warm and peaceful, with a circular fire pit in the middle and blankets arranged neatly on the floor. Soft lanterns made from glowing stones lit the room with calm blue light. Nayeli brought a wooden bowl filled with water and placed it in front of him. You have traveled far. Drink. You need strength. Ethan took a sip. The water tasted fresh, almost sweet. Nayeli sat across from him, folding her legs and keeping her back straight. I must, she said softly. Now that you stand with me, your safety is my responsibility. If anything happens to you in this village, they will say, I failed. Her eyes lowered for a moment. I do not want to fail. Ethan held the bowl in his hands and looked at her carefully. You didn't choose this situation. We both ended up here by accident. One the mana, one dot gamma. Nayeli shook her head. No, we ended up connected by fate. Sometimes our traditions feel heavy, but they are part of who we are. I must follow them. And now you walk beside me in those same rules. Ethan didn't fully understand her culture yet, but he respected her dedication. He placed the bowl aside and leaned a little closer. I'll do my best not to make things harder for you. Nayeli gave him a small smile. It was quick, gentle, and filled with relief. Thank you. As night settled outside, the village quieted. The fire in the center of the room warmed the air. Ethan lay on a blanket, but his mind was restless. Nayeli sat near the entrance, keeping watch like a guardian. She didn't look tired, but her eyes were alert, listening for any sound. After a long silence, Ethan asked softly, Are you afraid of what might happen tomorrow? Nayeli looked at him with calm honesty. Yes, she admitted. The tribe will ask questions. Some will not accept you easily. They believe humans disturb our traditions. They may think you bring danger. Ethan sighed. I don't want to be a burden. Nayeli shook her head. You are not a burden. This situation is strange, yes, but I do not blame you. I only fear how others will react. Ethan looked into the fire. Then we face whatever comes together. Nayeli's eyes softened again. Yes, together. Hours passed, and eventually Ethan drifted into sleep. But Nayeli stayed awake, listening to distant footsteps outside the house. She knew that many warriors were uneasy, and she also knew something else, something she had not told Ethan. A strong energy had awakened in the canyon earlier that day. She felt it when the spring glowed brighter than usual. Something ancient was moving beneath the sands of our Apache 3. Before dawn arrived, she finally rested for a short moment. The next morning, the village was already buzzing with activity before the sun fully rose. Children ran between houses, warriors trained near the fire pits, and elders gathered around small tables, discussing daily tasks. But when Ethan stepped out of Nayeli's house, everything slowed. Every pair of eyes turned toward him. Nayeli stepped out beside him. Her presence offered him some protection, but he could feel the weight of countless silent judgments. A middle-aged warrior approached, tall and strong, with lines of blue paint on his face. He looked at Ethan with sharp seriousness. So you are the outsider, who walks with Nayeli? Ethan swallowed. Yes. My name is Ethan Hale. Fee. The warrior looked at Nayeli. You chose him? Nayeli nodded firmly. I did. The warrior studied Ethan for a long moment, then nodded slowly. If Nayeli stands for you, then you walk safely among us. But do not forget where you are. ND. Ethan nodded quickly. I understand. The warrior stepped aside, and Nayeli guided Ethan toward the elders' hall. People still watched, but no one tried to stop them. Inside the hall, Elder Tseku waited calmly. His long white hair fell over his shoulders, and he rested his hands on a staff carved with ancient symbols. He gestured for them to sit. Nayeli. Ethan, he said in a deep voice. Today, we must understand the truth of the bond you formed. This is not a small tradition. It shapes futures. Nayeli bowed her head. Elder, I speak the truth. Ethan saw me by accident. He meant no harm. Tseku turned to Ethan. And you, human? Do you accept the bond of honor you formed yesterday? It means you stand beside Nayeli, in all matters of truth and respect. You must not dishonor her, her people, or her traditions. Ethan met the elder's steady gaze. I accept it. I didn't come here to disrespect anyone. The elder nodded slowly. Very well. But before he could speak further, a loud tremor shook the entire hall. Dust fell from the ceiling. People outside shouted in panic. Nayeli jumped to her feet. What was that? Another shake followed, stronger, deeper, like something massive moving under the ground. The elder's face tightened with fear. Something ancient has awakened. Ethan and Nayeli rushed outside. The ground cracked open near the far edge of the village. Sand poured into the opening like water draining from a broken pot. Warriors ran toward the disturbance, but they stopped when glowing metal claws emerged from the crack. A massive machine rose from the depths, an ancient relic built long before the tribe existed. It stood on 4 legs, each one glowing with blue energy. Its single eye shined bright, searching for targets. Nayeli's heart raced. That is one of the guardians of the old world. It was asleep, but now it is awake. Ethan stared in shock. Why now? Nayeli shook her head. I do not know. But we must stop it before it reaches the village. The machine started moving, its heavy steps shaking the ground. Warriors formed a line, but their weapons were too simple to face such power. One warrior fired an arrow charged with energy, but it bounced off the machine's metal hide. Ethan glanced at his wrist device. I might be able to find its weak point. These old machines usually have a central power line. Nayeli grabbed his hand. Then I will protect you. You find the weakness, and I will fight with you. Ethan nodded. Let's do it. They ran toward the rising machine while the warriors shouted warnings. The machine fired a bright beam that exploded near the edge of the village, sending dust into the sky. Ethan quickly scanned the machine with his wrist device. Lines of data appeared. There's a cooling vent under its main body. If something blocks it, the machine will shut down. Nayeli tightened her grip on her spear. Then we must get close. The machine swung one of its legs, causing the ground to crack. Nayeli grabbed Ethan's arm and pulled him to safety just before the leg crashed down where he had been standing. Stay close, she shouted. Ethan followed her as she led him through broken stones and rising dust. The machine turned toward them. Sensing movement, it fired another beam, and Nayeli leaped aside, pulling Ethan with her. They reached a large stone pillar that gave them brief cover. Nayeli looked at Ethan seriously. You must climb onto its back. That is the only way to reach the vent. Ethan blinked. Me? Climb that thing? Nayeli nodded. You have the device. Only you can read the energy lines. I will distract it. Ethan looked at the giant machine again. It was huge, too huge. But he remembered the bond he had formed with Nayeli. He couldn't run away now. He nodded. All right, I'll do it. Nayeli stepped out from behind the pillar and shouted to the machine, throwing her spear at one of its legs. The spear struck the metal surface and exploded with a small burst of energy. The machine turned its eye toward her. Ethan used the distraction to run toward the back of the machine. The metal was hot, but he found handholds along its joints. Nayeli kept shouting and jumping to avoid the machine's attacks, giving him precious time. Ethan climbed higher until he reached the main body. Steam shot out from the vent, and he could feel the intense heat. He activated his wrist device and placed it on the vent. Shutdown sequence. Come on. The machine turned its attention toward him now, sensing the disruption. It lifted a leg to knock him off. Nayeli rushed forward, shouting, and stabbed the machine's leg joint with a charged blade. The machine stumbled slightly, giving Ethan a few more seconds, His device flashed green. Got it. The machine released a loud hum, then its energy core dimmed. The glowing lights on its body faded, and its movements slowed. Finally, it collapsed to the ground with a heavy crash. Silence fell across the village. Nayeli ran toward Ethan as he climbed down carefully. She reached him just as he stepped off the machine. Are you hurt? She asked, breathing hard. No, Ethan replied, panting. Thanks to you. Warriors gathered around them, their faces filled with shock and newfound respect. The elder stepped forward, his voice filled with emotion. Nayeli. Ethan. You have saved us all. Nayeli bowed her head. Ethan did the same. The elder continued. Your bond is not just tradition now. It is proof of unity. Between two worlds. The tribe honors you both. For the first time, the people of the village looked at Ethan not with suspicion, but with gratitude. Children ran forward to see the machine. Warriors nodded at him with deep respect. Nayeli turned to Ethan, her eyes warm and relieved. You are no longer an outsider. Nayeli, Tenerni. Ethan smiled. I guess not. Nayeli stepped closer, her voice gentle. From the moment you walked into that canyon, everything changed. But now, I am glad it did. Ethan looked at her with the same warmth. Me too. And as the sun rose over the desert, casting golden light across the village, Ethan realized that he had found something here, something stronger than fear or misunderstanding. He had found a place where two different lives had become one path. Nayeli stood beside him, no longer afraid of the tribe's judgment. And the tribe stood behind them, ready to accept a new future. Their bond, born from an unexpected moment, had become a bridge between two worlds. And together, they would face whatever came next.